Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about dictionary comprehensions, sometimes called expressions, formulas, so some kind of recipe, some kind of pattern that can create for us, based on what is inside, a dictionary. And inside of it, we can put data that consists of, for example, strings, and this data can be, for example, a set. We can give into the dictionary comprehension at least, or a dictionary, and we can change dictionary into a dictionary with different values, or we can change list into a dictionary with some, for example, multiplied numbers, or we can, for example, set for each name the length of each name, something like that, right? We will do it soon, don't worry. So how to create a dictionary comprehension? We do it the same way as we did list comprehension, but this time we use the curly brackets, okay? So let's, for example, create a dictionary comprehension called names length. So we will save here. We want to do something like that. Arkadiusz, and I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Something like that. I want a dictionary that will be based on the set here with each key having the name, and as the value we want to have the length of that name. How to do it? Well, so the first thing is the difference between the list comprehension and dictionary comprehension was that we use the curly bracket here, and the second thing is that now we do not put as the first thing what we want to do with just a value, but we need to do something like that, key value, okay? So what we want to do with a key and a value. So that's all. There are no other differences between the list and dictionary comprehension, right? Of course, this will generate for us a dictionary also. So let's think for a second. I think the best way to start is always from where we want to get all these names from, right? So loop for will take something in names, right? And now we should think about what we will call it. So for example, we call it name, right? So because we take name from names. And now we should decide what we want to do with this name. So for example, we can say, like that, name, because, well, we want to see a name, and then we want to do something with that name. We want to have a number here, right? But how to get the length of each name? I think we should use the len function, like that. And now when you run the module, you will notice that we generated very fast names length dictionary. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. So it counted how many characters are inside of each name pretty fast, and it looks pretty good, right? You can most time you will see comprehensions and they will look like that, but I don't like that look because it's harder to read it. But when you see it like that, remember to always start reading from the first for loop, okay? Because then you will see instantly where do you get the values from, right? And then you see what you want to do with these values. And of course, the third thing is that what condition you want to make on these values, right? But of course, you can omit, right? You don't need to give the third option here, right? When we don't want to make a condition, then we don't need to, right? But, well, we can, why not? We can, for example, check, we can only, for example, show names that will start from A. We have got here a name like that and here. That's right. For example, if name, and there is a method that is called starts with, and we just give it a letter that we want to it to be started with. Of course, it can be a word too and other things like that. So, okay. And now, as you can see, we chose all the names that starts with A, and we counted how many characters are inside of each name, that name. That's really powerful, isn't it? Okay, let's practice a bit more dictionary comprehension. So here we have numbers. Let's say we want to multiply each of the number by itself. So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, 15, 25, sorry, 36, and so on, right? We want to multiply them by itself, and we want to have as a key the first value, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and as the value for the key, we want to have it the number that is multiplied by itself. Okay, so how to do it? We want to create a dictionary. So we use what? A dictionary comprehension. So we use the curly brackets. Now we need to somehow call the variable that will hold the numbers. So for example, multiplied numbers. Like that. And now what? The best thing is to start from where do we get these numbers from. So for each number, inside the numbers, okay, now we got them, and now we want to do something with them. So as a key, we want the number, and we want to multiply number by itself as a value. So number multiplied by number. Do we want to make a condition? Right now, no. So we will run the module, and as you can see, we created what we wanted to create. Of course, well, these numbers are one after another. So, well, in this case, we could use, for example, range, right? A range from 1 to 7. And we would get the same result. But we can increase this to, for example, 500, right? And now, as you can see, we have multiplied numbers from 1 to 499 by itself. Great. It's really powerful, and it's really clean way to write things like that. But what is cool, we can, for example, now say, I want to have numbers only, for example, that are greater than 30, and also numbers that are lower than, for example, 120. You can do things like that, right? And as you can see, it works fine. Of course, in a situation like that, we would just type here 30 and here 121. But I'm just showing you that you can make them more than one condition if you want. That way, right? Okay, so we've just multiplied numbers, and now we have got a situation with Celsius. Some people on the world use the Celsius scale in order to measure the temperature, but some use the Fahrenheit scale. So imagine that you got something like that. A dictionary that consists of the measured temperature 1 minus 20, temperature 2 minus 15, and so on. And you have some guys who want these values in Fahrenheit scale. So normally you would probably go through the for loop and change each of that value. But why bother doing something like that when you have a dictionary comprehension, right? We can just do something like, for example, Fahrenheit. And now equals like that. And now we want what? Get things from here, right? We should start from getting things from somewhere. So for each, and now we should type, for example, key, and then Celsius. Inside the Celsius items. So now what we've just done, I would like to remind you what these items return. As you can see, it returns the tuples like that. And I would like to remind you that when you have a tuple, you can easily name each of the values inside tuples for each iteration. So for each time the loop for goes through the items, right? And we name them key for T1 and Celsius for minus 20. And in the next round, when the for loop goes through these items, the key will be T2 and the Celsius will be minus 15, right? So that's how we just went through all these values and keys. And now we need to say what we want to do with it. Well, I think we should do nothing with the key, but we need to somehow change Celsius into the Fahrenheit. How to do it? Well, if you don't know, as a programmer, you should always use Google. It's really important for you to understand that I don't remember how to change, for example, Fahrenheit to Celsius because I don't do it normally each day, right? So you as a programmer should very often use Google when you don't know something. You have almost every question answered here. So how to do it? We want to change the Celsius to Fahrenheit. To Fahrenheit, right? And when we get here, we'll see that here is a formula, a pattern how to do it. So we need to somehow get the Celsius temperature, multiply it by 9 divided by 5 and add 32. So let's do it. We want Celsius. We want to multiply it by 9 divided by 5. And then we want to add 32. And now when you run the module, you will notice that we have got a dictionary consisting of the temperatures in a Fahrenheit scale instead of the Celsius. It's really powerful, isn't it? Okay, and well, here is one problem. We have got here 9 divided by 5. Each time when we change the Celsius into the Fahrenheit, our computer needs to divide 9 divided by 5. I think that it's better to give the result of that, so 1.8, because, well, that's your computer doesn't need to count it each time, right? So Celsius multiplied by 1.8. And as you can see, they said that you can count it like that or like that. And the result will be the same, but it will work a bit faster, right? Well, maybe not for some numbers like here, you will not notice, but well, imagine that we have thousands of them, right? Now imagine that we want to get, for example, temperatures that are greater than -10 and lower than 20. So we want to choose the temperature 3 and temperature 4. How to do it? Well, we can do something like that. If the Celsius is greater than -10 and if Celsius is lower than 20, then it will be chosen. And now, as you can see, we got on a T3 and T4, right? And also the temperature was changed to Fahrenheit. Awesome. Okay, as a practice, I would like you to do all these dictionary comprehensions again on your own without looking into the lecture. That's one thing. And second thing, change Fahrenheit into Celsius, okay? Make a Fahrenheit dictionary and find on internet how to change the Fahrenheit to Celsius and do it inside the dictionary comprehension. Okay, that's only the lesson. Thank you very much.